The chicken inside that can was never cooked before it went in. Raw breast meat, chunked, packed into tin, vacuum sealed, then pressure cooked inside the container at 250 degrees. It cooks in darkness, under pressure, inside the can you're about to open. This $4 can has more engineering behind it than most things in your kitchen. And the method started with a war, a cash prize, and a man who never understood why his own invention worked. In 1795, French troops were dying of malnutrition faster than combat could kill them. Napoleon's government posted a 12,000 franc prize for anyone who could keep food from spoiling on long campaigns. Nicolas Appert, a confectioner from the Champagne region, spent 14 years chasing it. He started with champagne bottles, cork, wax, canvas, boiling water. The method worked. He had no idea why. Pasteur wouldn't explain microorganisms for another 50 years. In 1809, he presented his results. The government awarded him the full 12,000 francs on one condition: publish the method. He did. The first book on food preservation appeared in 1810. Appert's factory was destroyed by invading armies in 1814. The man who invented canning, a method now powering an industry worth more than $140 billion, died in poverty in 1841, buried in a common grave at 91. The method worked, but the machine that makes the can on your shelf is something Appert never saw. The chicken arrives at the plant as USDA-inspected boneless, skinless breast meat. Workers trim fat, sinew, and connective tissue by hand. Then, cut the meat into chunks roughly 1 inch across. Same federal inspection pipeline as the fresh chicken at the grocery store. Those chunks go into the can raw, not blanched, not seared, not cooked at all. Added alongside the meat, water or chicken broth, salt, and in many brands, a small amount of modified food starch to hold the texture during the pressure cook. Without it, the protein breaks apart into mush. Some formulations also include sodium phosphate, which keeps the meat from drying into leather under sustained heat. A vacuum sealer pulls the air out of each can before crimping the lid shut. This step matters because of what can grow in sealed, airless spaces. There's a bacterium that does exactly that, and the toxin it produces is one of the most dangerous in food. A sealed can with the oxygen pulled out is, without the next step, the perfect place for it to thrive. That next step is the retort. It's an industrial pressure cooker the size of a shipping container. Sealed cans roll in on racks and sit at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 121 degrees Celsius, or higher. The industry calls this the botulinum cook. The heat has to reach every point inside every can, including the coldest spot at the center. For a standard can of chicken breast, that means roughly 70 to 90 minutes at full temperature. At that heat, for that long, it doesn't just kill the bacteria. It kills the spores, the ones that survive boiling water, survive almost everything else. This is the one temperature they don't come back from. Inside the can, during those minutes under pressure, several things happen at once. The raw chicken cooks completely. The connective tissue melts into liquid, pooling around the meat. Everything that could spoil the food or make someone sick is gone. Not reduced, gone. Nothing left inside the can can grow under normal storage conditions. Then cold water floods the retort chamber. If the cans cool too slowly, the meat overcooks into mush. Too fast, and the pressure difference can buckle the seal. When the cans come out and reach room temperature, that liquid around the meat sets into the jelly everyone sees when they pop the lid. The sealed cans come out shelf-stable. 2 years of guaranteed quality, often much longer, without refrigeration and without a single chemical preservative. The seal and the heat are the entire system. No smoking, no salt curing, no chemical bath, just physics. A modern retort line processes thousands of cans per shift. The equipment runs near capacity, and lead times for new installations stretch 12 to 18 months. That's how tight the pipeline is. Raw chicken goes into a tin. Heat and pressure do the rest. In 1865, the steamboat Bertrand sank in the Missouri River. Salvagers pulled it from the silt in 1968. Among the cargo, canned peaches, oysters, tomatoes, vegetables. Tested in 1974 by the National Food Processors Association. Appearance and smell had deteriorated, but no microbial growth. 109 years old and still safe to eat. An Army colonel named Henry Moak kept a canned pound cake from his 1973 Vietnam deployment. Promised himself he'd eat it on retirement day. In 2009, he cracked it open at the Pentagon. 40 years old, still moist, he pronounced it good. A refrigerator keeps chicken safe for 3 days. A sealed can holds for decades without power, without cold, without a deadline. And yet it's the jelly, not the seal, that draws the most suspicion. That jelly, the part that usually gets drained, is the most protein-dense thing in the can. Same substance at the bottom of a pot of bone broth. It formed during the retort cook and set solid as the can cooled. The tin can was patented in 1810. The first dedicated can opener didn't appear until 1858, 48 years. The instructions on cans told buyers to cut around on the top, near to the outer edge, with a chisel and hammer. Early cans were wrought iron lined with tin, some nearly 3/16 of an inch thick. They invented the container, then spent half a century figuring out how to get into it. And even now, the part of the can you never see tells a story most people haven't heard. Every metal food can has a polymer lining inside. Without it, the metal corrodes on contact with food acids. For decades, that lining contained bisphenol A. More than 90% of food cans in the United States now use non-BPA alternatives. The European Union banned BPA in food contact materials entirely in 2024. The can tells you when something's wrong. A bulging lid, a dent along the seam, rust breaking through, or a hiss when you puncture the seal. Any of these means the barrier is compromised. Canned chicken won't taste like a bird from a roasting pan. It solves a different problem: shelf-stable protein that works in soups, casseroles, salads, tacos. The date stamped on the lid marks quality, not safety. Next time you open that can, don't drain the jelly. Fold it into whatever you're cooking. It dissolves like butter into a warm pan. The part that looks the least appetizing is the most nutritious thing in the can. That jelly pooling around the meat. Not a preservative, not an additive. Just a chicken cooking in its own collagen inside a sealed tin, the way it's been done since 1810. That's the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there's something you'd like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process,